If you've been trying to learn how to do daily 5 and work on writing is stressing you out, you're in a good place because today's video is for you, and I'm going to talk all about daily 5's work on writing and how to streamline it to make it more efficient for you and easier and more fun for your students. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Molly, and I'm a 5th grade teacher who helps other elementary teachers just like you learn how to implement the Daily 5 in their classroom so they can get to all of their reading groups. Work on writing has to have structure to it, and I'm going to break down for you what I do exactly in my classroom, whether I was teaching kindergarten, 1st grade, or now 5th grade. It works for all the grades. So the first thing I want to tell you is that if you watched the last video I did on Read to Self and you are wanting to start Daily 5, go back and start with that video because I'm putting these videos in order of how I introduce the topics, and I have a system to it. Read to Self comes first. The Daily 5 book tells you to do that. And I like to introduce Work on Writing next because I feel like it goes really well with Read to Self, and kids can build their writing stamina almost as easily as they can their reading stamina when you use the strategies I'm going to teach you today. So go back and watch that one if you haven't seen it yet. After Read to Self, we have to build our stamina for Work on Writing just like we did with the first thing, Read to Self. So if you do not get to the 15-minute mark, I would advise you not to move on with this introducing of Work on Writing because the kids don't have the stamina yet. So be patient with yourself. Go over the expectations every day. I'm going to tell you what they are in a second, and build stamina using a stamina building chart. It's my favorite way to show the kids that they are reaching their goal and getting one step closer every day to that 15-minute mark. So the expectations that I have slightly tweaked, and some are very similar to the Daily 5 book, but I put on chart paper, and you'll see here that my handwriting is fine on pen and paper, but for some reason when I go to chart paper, it can look kind of wonky, and I just kind of do it on the fly with the kids. But I also have them pre-made on the computer, and you can print them on the poster maker, and I like to have those too because they just look so much nicer than my handwriting. So it's up to you. I'll leave the expectations chart in the description box below if you are somebody like me who likes to print them ahead of time, or you might even want to shrink the size and have it inside of the kids' Work on Writing journal so that they can remember the expectations. So they're very similar to Read to Self, but you're, instead of saying read the whole time, you're going to say write the whole time. And I always like to point at my watch. I like to do hand gestures. So write the whole time, stay in one spot, level 0, get started right away, and build our writing stamina. And we've talked about what stamina is before this station, so they're really well aware of it and that they need to get to that 15-minute mark. The key here for Work on Writing that sometimes can cause teacher stress is if they don't have a plan for their students. I've done this before. I've made this mistake where you just give them a journal and you're like, hey, you can write about anything you want to. But what I learned is that most of the students need some kind of structure. There's going to be a small handful that really can use that time and write a lot, but there's others that are going to need a prompt. So what I did last year was create 3 writing prompts every day for my 5th graders and for every month. And so I had it all planned ahead of time. I go over the prompt with them before they start Daily 5. Once they've mastered all of the stations, then I just go over it. Then it's on the smartboard or the Clear Touch, whatever your classroom has, and they can see it when they are on that station. It sometimes does help to have another student who switches back and forth between the Daily 5 choices on the smartboard to the actual writing prompts. And 5th graders are really great at that, but you could have younger kids do it as well. These prompts work really well for grades 3, 4, and 5, but I also have one a day for those 1st and 2nd grade teachers. So if you want to have just one prompt a day instead of so many options, your younger learners can use the same thing. Both products are available inside of my TPT store, and you can grab them and use them for the entire year. There's a whole year-long bundle, or you could grab 1 month at a time. I do recommend having some kind of a plan though. It doesn't have to be my writing prompts, but if you want it done for you, they're there. If you just leave it open-ended, I think it will stress you out more in the long run to not have a plan for your students. I will also recommend that you check their writing journals at the end of the week or have a system for checking them because you need to make sure they're being held accountable to the writing. Although it is fun, creative writing time, we also want them working the whole time too and not being task avoidant. All right, so there you have it. That is the way to introduce work on writing, go over those expectations every single day. When you're building stamina, use the stamina building chart. And if you don't have a plan for writing, then you kind of plan to fail. So make sure you're using some kind of writing prompt, whether they're the ones inside of My Store or you come up with your own. Just something every day so your students know what they're supposed to be doing and they've been modeled how to do it explicitly by you as the teacher, so there's no confusion. I hope this helps. I can't wait to hear how much more you're enjoying work on writing now that you have a plan. Let me know in the comments below how's it going in your classroom, and stay tuned because I have a whole Daily 5 series right here on YouTube that I'm just making videos for right now, but I have an entire playlist as well. If you're wanting to do a deep dive into Daily 5, I give you all my greatest tips. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.